You apologize before asking a question. You apologize when someone interrupts you. You apologize for taking too long to reply. Too emotional? Sorry. Too quiet? Sorry. Need help? Sorry. And after a while, it stops sounding like manners. It starts sounding like guilt, like some part of you believes your existence is slightly inconvenient for everyone around you. But people are not born feeling this way. No child enters the world believing they are too much. So the real question is, who taught you to shrink yourself just to feel safe? Maybe you've done this before. You're texting someone, typing a completely normal message, then deleting it 3 times because it might annoy them. Or you walk into a room and instantly become aware of how loud your footsteps are, how much space your body takes up, where your hand should go, whether your presence changed the mood. Some people live like this every single day, quietly, invisibly, exhaustingly. And most people around them never notice, because these people usually look nice, easygoing, considerate, low maintenance. But beneath that kindness is often something much sadder. Fear, not fear of being hated, fear of becoming a burden. And that fear usually starts much earlier than people realize. Imagine a child crying in their room, not because they're dramatic, not because they want attention, but because they're overwhelmed. Now imagine the adult entering that room responds with annoyance instead of comfort. Stop crying. You're too sensitive. Not now. You always make things difficult. The child learns something dangerous in moments like these. Not, my feelings matter, but my feelings create problems. And children adapt fast, faster than adults think. Some children become invisible, some become perfectionists. Some become unbelievably helpful, not because it's their personality, because it feels safer. Safer to need nothing, safer to stay quiet, safer to apologize before anyone gets upset. That's the part people misunderstand. Over-apologizing is rarely about politeness, it's survival. It's the nervous system trying to prevent rejection before rejection even happens. That's why some people apologize for things that make no sense. Sorry for talking so much. Sorry for being awkward. Sorry for bothering you. Sorry for existing. And when you hear someone say those words often enough, you start realizing they probably spent years feeling emotionally unwelcome somewhere. Pause for a second and think about this. Were you allowed to have emotions growing up? Not perfect emotions, not convenient emotions, real ones, anger, fear, sadness, neediness. Or did you learn that love became distant whenever you expressed them? Because many emotionally sensitive children grow up believing connection is conditional. I'll be loved if I'm easy. I'll be accepted if I don't need too much. I'll be safe if I never upset anyone. So they become experts at monitoring themselves. They read facial expressions constantly. They overanalyze text messages. They replay conversations at night. They apologize before other people even feel offended. Not because they're weak, because somewhere in their past, emotional safety was unpredictable. And unpredictability creates hyper-awareness. That's why some of the kindest people you meet are secretly the most anxious. They're always checking the emotional temperature of the room, always adjusting themselves, always trying not to become the problem. But here's the painful twist. The more someone abandons themselves to keep others comfortable, the lonelier they usually become. Because nobody truly meets the real them. Only the edited version, the careful version, the harmless version, the version designed to avoid rejection. And after years of this, many people don't even know what their natural personality looks like anymore. They only know survival modes. Maybe that's why compliments feel uncomfortable to them. When someone says, "You're so kind," part of them feels warm, and another part feels tired. Because the kindness was never fully free. Sometimes it was fear wearing kindness as a disguise. Fear of conflict, fear of abandonment, fear of being disliked. And the saddest part? Many people don't notice this until adulthood. Until one day they apologize to someone, and the other person says, "Why are you apologizing?" And suddenly their mind goes blank because they genuinely don't know. Their body just learned long ago that apologizing reduces danger, even if no danger exists. You can see this in relationships all the time. Someone gets ignored for a few hours and immediately thinks, "I did something wrong." Someone changes their tone slightly and panic appears instantly. Someone asks for space and it feels like abandonment. Not because the person is irrational, because old emotional wounds make ordinary moments feel threatening. A child who had to earn emotional safety often becomes an adult who over-explains everything, who feels guilty resting, guilty saying no, guilty needing reassurance, and eventually guilty for simply taking up space in another person's life. Pause again for a moment. Think about how often you say sorry. Not the genuine kind, the automatic kind, the reflex. Now ask yourself something deeper. What are you actually apologizing for? Your needs, your feelings, your presence? Because sometimes people aren't apologizing for actions, they're apologizing for who they learned they had to become to survive. And once you see that, everything changes. You stop viewing yourself as too sensitive. You realize sensitivity was never the problem, being emotionally unsupported was. There's a huge difference. Sensitive people don't break because they feel deeply. They break because they were taught their feelings were inconvenient. That's why healing often starts with something incredibly small. Not confidence, not becoming louder, not forcing yourself to stop caring, just noticing. Noticing every unnecessary apology, noticing every moment you shrink yourself, noticing how quickly your mind assumes blame. Awareness changes things, because when you finally understand where these behaviors came from, you stop hating yourself for them, and maybe for the first time you start responding to yourself differently. Not with shame, but with compassion. The kind you probably needed years ago, and slowly, something strange begins to happen. You pause before apologizing. You express a need without panic. You stop over-explaining your existence. Little by little, your nervous system learns a new truth. You are not difficult for being human. You are not selfish for having emotions. And you were never meant to spend your whole life apologizing for taking up space, because the people who truly love you won't need you to disappear in order to stay.